Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new series by AskPB, our latest series to basically decode all things insurance. AskPB is a platform where you can send in your questions, and our domain experts will, answer your queries. So do check out the link in the description box below and shoot all your queries there. So coming back to today's session, Ask PB का ये session हम हर Friday करने वाले हैं at 4 p.m. and it's going to be very exciting. Now, today we have Manas Kapoor with us, who is our business head for travel insurance. Welcome, Manas.
Thanks, Imran. Hi.
Thank you. Now, he'll basically be talking about travel insurance for international trips. And अगर आपके पास कोई भी questions हैं, तो please आप chat box में send कर दीजिए, and Manas will answer all your queries. Now, let's get started. Manas, we'll start with the basics. What exactly is travel insurance?
So, Simran, if I like to tell my audience that travel insurance is basically a policy that is a popular choice among travelers who are going on vacations, business trips, or for studies. It covers medical expenses and other risks that helps you enjoy your trip hassle-free. Travel insurance provides a safety and it helps you safeguard yourselves from an unwanted expense that might occur if you are in an unforeseen event in an international location or also domestically. There are advantages like medical emergency, baggage loss, passport loss, trip cancellations that covers under the travel insurance umbrella. It's very important for people to understand that buying a comprehensive travel insurance whenever they are planning a trip to secure their losses if and anything happening outside is important.
Okay, thank you. So, Manas, I'm sure there are multiple categories under this insurance, right? बहुत types के travel insurance आते होंगे. So, can you throw some light on that?
So there are basically अगर मैं बताऊं तो there are 4 types of travel insurance जो market में है. पहला है single trip. If you are going to let's say Dubai with your family, that is single trip travel insurance which comes with अगर आप एक बंदा जा रहे हैं या multiple as a family जा रहे हैं. So this is one type of travel insurance. Then the second type is student. अगर कोई बाहर हायर स्टडीज के लिए जा रहा है या स्टूडेंट एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम के लिए जा रहा है, so they can also buy a travel insurance so that there are benefits that are specifically designed for those set of users which are student specific benefits. Third is multi trip, where what happens is a user who is traveling multiple times abroad. जैसे कि अगर मेरा चाइना के साथ बिजनेस है तो मैं मल्टीपल बार चाइना जाता हूँ एक साल में, सो मैं बार बार ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस खरीदने की बजाय इट विल बी बेटर फॉर मी कि मैं एक साल का प्लान ले लूं बिकॉज देयर मल्टीपल ट्रिप्स एंड द प्राइस दैट आई विल पे अक्रॉस मल्टीपल ट्रिप्स दैट गेट्स रिड्यूस. सो ये 3 तरीके की इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस होती हैं. प्लस जो मैंने बताया फैमिली, दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी बिग कॉम्पोनेंट बिकॉज आज आफ्टर द पैंडेमिक दैट हैज रिसाइडेड we are seeing that people are traveling with families internationally, and that is also coming as a very important aspect for travel insurance.
Yeah, that's totally bang on, Manas. Thank you for explaining that. Now, what are some exclusions under travel insurance, and what should look out for?
So in terms of exclusions, if I have to classify, the main exclusions is that your trip should be starting from India. That if you are going outside of India, that the trip should be starting from India first. Second is if there is any woman or a girl who is pregnant, then they are not allowed to travel more than 6 months. There are specific certain countries that have restrictions, like Syria and other allied countries which are come under US sanctioned countries. So there's these kinds of exclusions that comes under the bucket of travel insurance that the people have to understand. Also, one important exclusion that I want to tell my users are people think that travel insurance is only for Indians. It's not that case. Even if somebody is from, let's say, US or Dubai, who is coming to India and traveling other than that particular country, they can also buy a travel insurance given that they have a valid residency proof of minimum 6 months of staying in India. So that is also one important aspect. You can call it as an exclusion or a case that travel insurance is valid for them also.
Okay. एंड मानस, अगर हमें अपने व्यूअर्स को सिंप्लीफाई करके बताना हो, अगर कोई बाहर मार्केट में ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस खरीदने जा रहा है, तो ऐसे कौन से 3 फैक्टर्स होंगे जिन पर उनको फोकस करना चाहिए?
अगर कोई बाहर इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल जा रहा है, तो मैं सिंपल से अपने यूजर्स के लिए, मतलब इट इज अ क्वेश्चन फॉर देम. What they do is, when they are traveling internationally, they first search for a country that they want to travel. Then they search that which hotel or which airline they will have to travel through. So they वो सारी चीजें कंपेयर करते हैं, कौन सा सस्ता है, कौन सा बेस्ट ऑप्शन है उनके लिए, उसके हिसाब से वो अपने सारा ट्रिप प्लान करते हैं. Similarly, travel insurance is also very important to review, compare and then buy the best plan. उसमें उनके लिए critical aspects जो important होते हैं to buy are predominantly two things. One, where they are traveling, that means the destination. Because आप ये समझिए कि अगर आप यूएसए जा रहे हैं तो वहां पे medical facilities are very expensive, so the prices are accordingly expensive for the plans, and you have to buy a best plan जो आपको सारी चीजें कवर करता है वहां पे. सिमिलरली अगर आप दुबई जा रहे हैं फॉर एग्जांपल, वहां पे आपके मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज is expensive as compared to India, but they are not as expensive as USA. So the plans are also priced in such a way. So it is very important for users first to identify where they are going, and second is कि उन्हें क्या क्या coverages चाहिए. If they are going to Dubai, for example, वो वहां पे स्काई डाइविंग कर रहे हैं, जिप लाइनिंग कर रहे हैं, क्या वो एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स में पार्ट ले रहे हैं, तो उस तरीके का प्लान ले सकते हैं. अगर कोई सीनियर सिटीजन है जो अपने बच्चों के पास जा रहा है, लेट्स से यूएस या जर्मनी, तो क्या वो वहां पे 1 महीने के लिए रह रहे हैं, 6 महीने के लिए रह रहे हैं, क्या उन्हें कोई पहले से प्री एग्जिस्टिंग मेडिकल कंडीशन है? अगर उनको उस तरीके से होते तो उनको प्लान उस तरीके से सिलेक्ट करना चाहिए जो वो कवरेज देता हो. सो वट एवर द बेनिफिट्स दैट आर प्रेजेंट फॉर ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस, दे शुड बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दोज बेनिफिट्स and see what are the benefits that are important for them and choose the plan accordingly.
Okay. Also, Manas, we are living in COVID times. So, I mean, I have to ask you this question. Does travel insurance also provide coverage for COVID-19?
Yes. So all travel insurance across the board, across the industry, covers COVID-19 coverage, but users have to understand that only medical expenses related to COVID-19 is covered. Because at like 2 years back when the COVID started, people were apprehensive that अगर मैं वहां पे जाके क्वारंटीन हो जाता हूं तो क्या मेरा क्वारंटीन का होटल का खर्चा ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस उठाएगी. सो दैट इज नॉट द केस, क्योंकि क्वारंटीन वाज अ मैंडेटरी एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम एंड दैट वाज नॉट कवर्ड पार्ट ऑफ ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस. ओनली एंड ओनली इफ योर मेडिकल, इफ यू आर गोइंग आउटसाइड, आपको कोविड हो जाता है और आपको हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन होती है, दैट विल बी कवर्ड. और अगर आपको कोविड की वजह से, लेट सपोज आप इंडिया में आपको कोविड हो जाता है और आप बाहर नहीं जा पाते और आपको हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन इंडिया में होती है, तो आपको जो भी आपका ट्रिप कैंसिलेशन का बेनिफिट जैसे होता है ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस में, दैट गेट्स कवर्ड अंडर ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस.
Okay. So now let's assume a person has global health coverage.
Yeah.
Wherever they go, they'll be, covered like medically. तो उनको तब भी travel insurance लेना चाहिए while traveling abroad?
So global health coverage is a very new term that is recently, like in last 1 or 2 years, post pandemic has come in the market, and we need to understand that those plans are specifically dedicated for users who are going for a planned treatment outside India. Travel insurance is only specifically designed for users that they enjoy their trip with their family, with their loved ones, and if anything happens, any unforeseen event happens, any unprecedented thing happen when they are traveling, only in those emergency situations they are able to get the advantage. So they are completely different products, global health coverage and travel insurance. Travel insurance is purely only when users are under any emergency, medical, accidental, or any loss of passport, baggage, trip delay, anything. Only in case of emergency they are covered.
Okay. And you mentioned travel insurance for senior citizens. Can you elaborate on that?
So if I say senior citizen is a very predominant market for travel segment, if I say why, because as we know, many students traveled from India outside for higher studies, and they have settled there, they are working there successfully, and they usually call their parents to stay with them, usually for 3 to 6 months, And at that point of time, travel insurance is very important for them to safeguard themselves, because they are at higher risk. If I say senior citizen, they usually have a pre-existing medical condition, like if I say diabetes, hypertension. So they ought to have something to safeguard themselves when they are traveling outside India.
Okay. Now, any specific points to keep in mind while a pregnant woman is traveling?
So technically, like I mentioned in the exclusion part also, if a pregnant woman is more than 6 months pregnant, it is advisable that they don't travel at all, frankly speaking. But travel insurance does not give a benefit, and they are not valid if the woman is 6 months pregnant and traveling, unless and until there is an exception, except medical condition. In that case, they can buy that. Secondly, if the woman is less than 6 months pregnant and they are traveling, under the guidelines that are right now, they are ready to accept any claims or anything that the claim is there for, because of that any unforeseen event. But in case it is because of the pregnancy, then that is not allowed. So I'll just give an example. If a pregnant lady goes to Dubai and she gets some pain because of pregnancy, and she goes to the hospital, the charges, the OPD, she will not be reimbursed for that in that particular scenario. But for example, if her baggage gets lost while traveling, that will be reimbursed, because that is nothing to related to the pregnancy. So that is something that we need to keep in mind for especially that segment.
Okay. Now, for instance, somebody has a pre-existing disease, Manas, and they are traveling and they want to buy a travel insurance cover. What things should they keep in mind? And will they, easily get a travel insurance?
Yes. So this last part of your question is straightforward. Answer is yes, that they are able to get the travel insurance easily without any medical test, without any hassle. They can buy travel insurance. They can get a benefit of maximum up to $10,000 in terms of any pre-existing medical condition on our website. But the most important thing for them that I have seen with my experience is that they they have to disclose the information accurately and correctly and completely. So these are the three important aspects that anyone who is having a pre-existing disease has to go through while filling or while buying the travel insurance policy. Because often it happens is that कि अगर लेट सपोज मुझे कुछ प्री एग्जिस्टिंग डिजीज है, मैंने पॉलिसी बाय कर ली ये सोच के कि ठीक है यार ये तो चलता है, ये नहीं होगा इससे कुछ, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मुझे कुछ उसकी वजह से हो जाता है जब मैं ट्रैवल कर रहा हूँ, then the insurer companies has that liability ki they can reject the claim. So it is very important for everyone to understand that if they have any pre-existing condition or even something they have suffered from previously, they declare it properly, they disclose it properly, so that there is no uh, there is nothing undisclosed or nothing that the insurer can reject upon.
Okay. Now, what are some lesser known benefits of travel insurance that, like, literally nobody knows about? Now, you're the expert, so you can help us out here.
Yeah, this is my favorite part, the lesser known benefits. Why? Because as you said that being an expert in travel insurance field comes with baggage that you must know in and out of the travel insurance. And there are certain benefits, like I mentioned in when I was telling about the student plan also, that users or the people who are buying don't know. They don't really understand what those benefits are. I'll just give you an example. Like I mentioned, adventure sports coverage. That is one benefit that all people want. They have that underlining that okay, मैं बाहर जाऊंगा, मैं ये एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स तो करूंगा, मैं ये बंजी जंपिंग करूंगा न्यूजीलैंड में जाके, बट खुदा ना खास्ता अगर कुछ हो जाता है ऐसा प्रॉब्लम, they need to cover themselves, they need to safeguard themselves, and that is why travel insurance comes into picture. One more benefit that is there is like trip extensions. So for example, there is a cyclone in USA and you are stuck at that location. So you and in that situation you have to be taken to the next safest location, and your trip gets extended because of those situation. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस इज आपका एयर फेयर का प्राइस चेंज होगा, आपका होटल्स के प्राइस चेंज होंगे, बिकॉज आपको वो एडिशनल पे करना पड़ेगा 2 से 3 दिन या 5 दिन स्टे करने का. सो दोस दैट बेनिफिट इज ऑल्सो प्रोवाइडेड इन ट्रैवल इंश्योरेंस. इफ यू आर ट्रैवलिंग आउटसाइड इंडिया, आपका घर यहाँ पे अनसेफ रहता है back in India, there is a home burglary cover that is present in your travel insurance that the user must see and check कि कितना कवरेज उसमें मेरे को मिल रहा है, and then buy the policy accordingly. Similarly, स्टूडेंट के लिए अगर मैं बोलूं, there specific benefits that are designed for students, जैसे लॉस ऑफ लैपटॉप. व्हेन यू आर स्टडिंग अब्रॉड, आपका लैपटॉप हो सकता है. आप कहीं पे पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं और रात में आप कहीं पार्टी करने जाते हैं और वहां पे आपकी किसी से फाइट हो जाती है, एंड यू एंड अप in the police station. So the legal fees is also covered under travel insurance. Your tuition fees reimburse is also possible if you are not able to continue with your studies due to any medical reasons. If you fall sick, अगर आप बाहर पढ़ रहे हैं और आप sick हो जाते हैं, तो आप अपने किसी पेरेंट को, अपने स्पाउस को बुला सकते हैं, and that will be covered under travel insurance up to a certain limit. So इस तरीके से there's many benefits which, and I can go on and on with that. So there's so many benefits that is very important for users to understand, and then take a decision as to what benefits are important for them.
Okay, Manas. So a lot of students, for their higher studies or even for, student exchange programs travel abroad, right? Do they also need travel insurance? And if yes, what kind of coverage do they need?
So definitely they are eligible for student travel insurance. But right now the momentum across the industry is that because of the pandemic, students are a little reluctant to buy student travel insurance and get coverage under the tuition fees that they are going to. Like, let's say, I'll just take an example. If somebody is going to UK, they will be covered under the national health scheme, which is called as NHS. But there is a caveat to that. I'll just give you an example. Like, let's say I'm a student, I'm going to in UK for higher studies. अब मैं खाली यूके 2 साल पढ़ने तो जाऊंगा नहीं, मैं कहीं घूमने भी जाऊंगा, मैं एम्स्टरडैम भी जाऊंगा, मैं जर्मनी भी जाऊंगा दोस्तों के साथ. Now what happens is that NHS scheme will only cover me in UK. They will not cover me outside of UK. Now when you are buying travel insurance, you can buy it for the complete European region, let's say, or for the complete world. It will not cost you that much, but you can buy for the complete world. And then wherever you want to go or you want to travel, you can travel and be uh, saving yourself from any emergency situation if you get into. Second is, there are certain benefits which are not covered under these schemes or under the tuition program. So I'll just give you one example, like dental treatment. This is one advantage that is present in student travel insurance, but that is not part of the national health scheme or the tuition scheme that is present in UK, for example. Or if even if it is present, then it is only with very few limits that is there, जिसमें कुछ भी निकलेगा नहीं अगर किसी भी बच्चे का वहां पे कुछ डेंटल प्रॉब्लम होती है. So it is very important for students to understand that these two coincides with each other. ऐसा नहीं है कि they can only rely on the NHS scheme or the scheme that they are registered into with the university, and they have to buy the student travel insurance as well, because that will additionally safeguard and additionally help them protect their best interest.
Right. Now, a lot of countries have made it mandatory for people to have travel insurance if you want to travel to those countries, right, Manas?
Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah. So if I have to say, pre-pandemic, there were somewhere around 50 to 60 countries, and predominantly European countries like Germany, Switzerland, which basically we call it Schengen area, that had the visa, that with the visa that you have to have a travel insurance, and they had mandated the travel insurance to for the users to have while traveling their country. But after the pandemic, we are seeing that countries even in Southeast Asia, like if I say Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, they have mandated that users who are coming even on visa on arrival basis, they should be having a travel insurance. And I'll just tell you an example. I was traveling a little while back in to Vietnam. So at that point of time, at the Delhi International Airport, they asked that if you don't have a travel insurance, just get out of the line, first buy, and then you will you can get your baggage added. So that is the strictness, that is right now present with the travel insurance. Because please understand that if the user is going to another country, it is their liability, because the user will say, I don't have such a huge amount of money. So it is the liability, it comes to the liability of the country, that they have to pay, or they have to they will come in a bad position. So it is very important for users to understand that even though it is mandated only by 50 or 60% of the countries, it is a very important uh, tool that they should have in their armor when they are traveling internationally.
Thank you for explaining that, Manas. Guys, we will be taking up your questions very soon. So please send them in the chat box below, and we'll be taking them up shortly after this next question. Manas, I have one last question before we move on to the questions from the audience. How much does a travel insurance premium usually cost? Like, what's the average range?
So this is also interesting, because I'll start with an example. If, let's say, if there is a newlywed couple who is going to Maldives, which was a hot destination during the 21-22 year. So if there is, the average cost of a trip to Maldives ranges from somewhere around 1 lakh to 2.5 3 lakhs, including the flight and the travel for two people. And the travel insurance that you will get for two people would be somewhere around 500 rupees. So that is not even 1% of the total cost that you will be incurring, which includes your flights, your hotels, your food, your different attractions that you will be visiting. So that is, if I say in terms of Asia as a geography, if you see. But if you see US, the price will increase a little, but still it will be extremely cheap as compared to the cost that you will be incurring when you will be traveling. The pricing is structured in such a way that wherever the medical expenses is higher, so if US is there, the price of the insurance will be higher as compared to Europe, which will be at a lower range, and then Asia, which comes at the lowest range of the spectrum. So that the pricing is designed accordingly. But we must understand that the cost of going and traveling versus travel insurance and the benefit that it will give you in case of any situation is enormous. Like it is something which we cannot say it, like we cannot calculate in numbers.
Right. Thank you for explaining that, Manas, so beautifully. I understood it very well. I'm sure our viewers feel the same. Now, Diksha Salwani is asking, will ticket cancellation be covered due to COVID, even if I was not admitted to hospital?
So technically there is right now with the plans that is there, ticket cancellation will not be covered if you are not hospitalized. But there is a certain benefit which is called as cancellation for any reason, that is present with some of the plans that are there. But the only problem with that is that it increases the price of your product exponentially. Because if you don't have a specific reason that why you are canceling, the chances or the probability comes at a very high range. So even if you are not hospitalized, you can get that benefit in certain products, not in all products. But definitely if you are not hospitalized, the chances, because if you have not evaluated, you have not searched thoroughly what plan and what conditions are there, the probability is that you will not get the benefit. But yes, there are products, there are insurance that provides this coverage as well.
Okay. Jitendra is asking, what is baggage insurance?
So that is predominantly, if I say, related to the luggage that you are traveling with. It can be, for example, the baggage, the hand baggage that you are taking, the checked-in baggage that you are taking. Those are already covered in travel insurance. If I say, with two benefits which are almost covered in 100% of the products. One is the loss of checked-in baggage. So that basically means that if your baggage gets lost in a way because of the airlines, then you get that benefit. Or your flight is connecting to some other place and your baggage gets delayed, like you reach USA but your baggage doesn't reach. So that is also one benefit that you can get. Additionally, baggage insurance also includes your loss of personal belongings, your credit card, your wallet, that also are included in, because that is part of your baggage or your luggage only.
Right. Sanket is asking, can I change my travel dates after buying travel insurance?
So that is also a very tricky question. If your travel has not started, ideally you can change your dates. The only thing is that you will have to provide a valid reason that why your trip dates are changing, and there is a provision under the guidelines that you can change your travel dates. uh, One thing that I want to highlight is that if your duration of the travel date is changing, so if I say that you were earlier traveling for 10 days, but now you are traveling for 15 days and your start and end date has changed, at that point of time you will be asked for an additional premium because the number of days has increased. But if the number of days are same, then there will be no problem in changing the dates.
Okay. Akshay is asking, does travel insurance cover trip interruption or delay?
Yeah. So trip interruptions and trip delay are a common theme in travel insurance again. If I have to explain what does trip delay means, let's say you are traveling to, for example, USA via flight from Germany, and because of the weather conditions, your trip or your the flight gets delayed. At that point of time, you can avail that benefit. Like for example, if you have to stay at any place in Germany for that like a brief time till the storm stops, that benefit can be availed at that point of time. Trip interruption basically means that you are already outside India and there is some medical condition or medical emergency back home, for example, and you have to cut short your trip. So you have to interrupt your trip and come back. So the benefit that you have already paid, like would have paid for hotel, you would have paid for the flight. So the benefit that it comes with is that you can get reimbursed for that difference that you have already paid versus the benefit that is present in travel insurance.
Okay. Navya is asking, should I buy travel insurance for domestic travel as well?
So there are products that are for domestic travel insurance as well. Uh, the only thing that we need to understand is domestic travel insurance is also at par with international travel insurance because it comes with the same benefits that is there in international travel. But in domestic travel, if I'm traveling from, let's say, Delhi to Bombay, and there is a medical emergency or medical problem that I incur in Bombay, at that point of time the health insurance that I have already bought in India, that is also valid. So in domestic travel insurance, the benefits that are more predominant are benefits like baggage loss or trip cancellation or trip delay, like you asked previously. So those are more predominant benefits in domestic travel insurance, whereas in international travel insurance, these are important benefits, but the most important benefit is the medical expenses, because outside India you are not covered with your health insurance. So that is why the medical expense part is very important in terms of international.
Okay. Saurabh is asking, what is the maximum duration I can buy travel insurance for?
So for a single trip travel, you can buy it for maximum 6 months, and that can be further extended up to another 6 months. So a total of 1 year, a single travel insurance is valid. In case of a student, you can buy it for 2 years, and it will be valid. It can be further extended to 1 year. So a total of 3 years you can buy student travel insurance, and a multi trip is valid for 1 year that you buy it for. So those are a different duration that the maximum time is there when you are buying travel insurance.
Okay. Jeevan is asking, can I extend my travel insurance policy if I decide to extend my trip?
Definitely. So like I've mentioned previously, that extending your trip is a very common phenomena, and there can be multiple instances and multiple reasons because of which you have to extend the trip. Just you need to contact the source from where you are buying. So if you are buying from Policybazaar, you just need to contact them. They will provide you the things that we want from you. Just generally, there is two things that is required. One is a good health declaration, and the second thing is the additional premium that you will have to pay if you are extending the trip. So these are the two things that is required, and you can easily extend your trip.
Okay. Now, one last question before we end the session, Manas. Somebody is asking, what should I do if I need to make a claim on my travel insurance policy?
So see, it is very important to understand that while buying travel insurance, there is a possibility that you might get into a unprecedented situation when you are internationally, and at that point we have seen people get a little hassled and confused as to what they need to do. And the simplest thing that they can do and they should do is they have to contact from the source that they have bought policy or their travel insurance from. For example, like if they have bought travel insurance from Policybazaar, they just need to contact us. We will take care of the rest. We will tell them what documents is required, what are the process. We will help them get regular follow-ups and regular updates from the insurer. Everything will be done by Policybazaar and our dedicated claims team, and they will help close the case at the earliest with the claim that is eligible by travel insurance.
Thank you for sharing that, Manas. And thank you everyone for joining in. We hope you found this session useful. If you have any further queries, please go to the link in the description box and shoot your queries there. AskPB is there to help you. And please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for future updates on this session. And thank you so much for tuning in again, and see you next time. Bye bye.